Hello, and welcome back to Gutters, Chapter 12, because I still need to finish this chapter. Alrighty, so, let's read one paragraph from the last video, and then, yeah. Denmark and Peter exchange one last skeptical look before following him in. Inside, the plane has been completely gutted. It's on its side, pilot side up, and a thick metal pipe runs through the very center, buried in the ground below and disappearing through the wall above. "Don't touch it," Alfred tells them when they move further in, clicking on a lamp hanging from the ceiling as he shuts the door. "That's the chimney. It's really hot." To illustrate his point, he stuffs his hand into a dirty, checkered oven mitt and pulls a small door open, showing them the dull glow of a smoldering fire inside. "Made it myself," he says proudly. "It funnels the smoke out just fine so long as we don't overload it. Nice and toasty, huh?" "Yeah." Denmark shrugs out of his coat. "Where's Matthew?" "Sleeping still." He nods his head to the nose of the plane toward a pile of blankets where the seats once were. "Gotta let him get his rest. I'll wake him up in a little while, so you can say hi." He tosses the mitt back to the floor and hangs his bag up on a peg nailed into the wall while Denmark and Sealand awkwardly seat themselves on one side of the chimney across from Alfred and wait for him to continue. Denmark pulls the mask down to his neck. "So," he says, How the hell did you manage this?" "What, the plane?" "Yeah, you seriously dug a hole big enough to bury it?" Alfred laughs. "What? No way. Don't be stupid." He leans back and struggles out of his boots. "We punched out when the plane crashed. It kind of did most of the burying on its own." Peter blinks. "You crashed?" "Of course he crashed." Denmark rolls his eyes. "Trying to fly a plane with this much ash in the air is crazy. There's a reason why everyone used to be totally grounded every time Iceland threw a fit." "Well, you don't have to put it like that," Alfred huffs. He crosses his arms and glares at them both. "For your information, we almost made it. We just got a little lost. We ran out of fuel before the engines choked on the ash anyways." "And it didn't just explode into a million pieces?" Duh." America shoots him an exasperated sigh. "No, we were flying really low. There wasn't that far to fall, and it didn't hit at too steep of an angle. The tail got pretty messed up, but everything else was mostly fine." "Where did you even get a plane?" Peter scoots up onto his knees and peers at the line of rivets above them. "I thought there wasn't any gas left." "This one was from my personal collection. It was in my underground safe house when the flash hit, so it was okay." Denmark stares at him. "You have a safe house big enough to fit a personal plane in?" "Of course I do." He puffs out his chest. "I've got to protect myself, right? I'm America, after all." "So," Denmark pauses, "if you have somewhere safe, why are you here? Shouldn't you be helping your people?" "Well, we weren't really supposed to be here this long, but..." He sighs heavily. "Okay, why don't I just start from the beginning, okay?" "Yeah, that's good." "Okay, basically, we only got hit once. Out of the 3 flashes, only the first one really got us, and then we got some residual shockwaves from the second one. The flooding and the earthquakes were really bad, but all things considered, we made it out pretty much in one piece. The coasts were kind of, messed up. How to change that word there. So everyone started moving into the center of the country as soon as things calmed down enough to travel again. The roads were in decent enough shape that people with big vehicles could still drive, so it was a pretty fast effort, I guess." He turns back and grabs a stack of yellow paper. He tosses it to them. "I found that just before I left. It's a family's journal of how they made it all the way from Ohio to Montana in just a few days. Pretty heartwarming stuff. They picked up a lot of strangers," he sighs. "Anyway, everyone started setting up camps around Montana and Alberta and expanding out from there. Stuff was pretty destroyed, but I guess we've always been resilient enough to make it work. Some people started building new shelters while other people worked on putting out fires and gathering food and yada yada. People weren't trying to fight each other? Denmark thumbs through the journal. They weren't trying to kill each other over supplies or anything? Nope. For as bad as things were, we still had enough workable land to grow food and were able to filter water from wells. It was thinned out, sure, but there was still enough for everyone. He jerks his head back at Canada's sleeping form. We pooled our resources. We don't have a border anymore. We're just the United American continent now. South America got hit harder than we did, but we were still taking in refugees even while we were getting ready to leave. He smiles. It's kind of nice not having borders. It makes you feel like one big happy family, you know? Denmark just grimaces. It wasn't just us, though. Russia sent boats down into the Gulf of Alaska, and we were able to meet up about a year after the flashes. Russia's okay? Yeah, he's doing okay. He points to his cheek. Got a big nasty scar now, though. He kept getting mad because I started calling him Chainsaw Face. He looks wicked scary, but he brought a lot of help with him. His people were struggling because the only real livable parts of Russia left were too cold to really do any farming. So we worked out a deal. He'd run boats back and forth out of Alaska and bring supplies, and then, in return, his people could start relocating to Canada and the States. Denmark hands him the journal. You were able to handle that many new people? Alfred sighs. It honestly wasn't that many. Russia got hit pretty hard, and we still had lost a lot of people, too. Basically, though, we're establishing colonies and trying to get survivors over. We still have land that can be cultivated, so we figure it's the best chance a lot of people have. Russia has been working his way through Europe, but things have slowed down a lot since fuel is running so low. But not to fear, between the two of us, we have 4 nuclear subs, so we're still picking people up. It's just harder now because no one expects a submarine. The next pickup is due to make rounds in the North Sea in... He shifts over to check a calendar on the wall. 2 months. Its first stop is in England. Denmark runs a hand through his hair, obviously trying to digest the deluge of information the deluge of information just presented to them. Wait, so he looks up. These colonies, they're safe? Alfred nods. People genuinely want to rebuild, so they're helping each other. He smiles to himself. Maddie and I are really proud of everyone. Our people always have been pioneers, and in this case is no exception. We're going to keep pulling people in until we run out of ways to do it. Peter's heart soars. If we could meet up with Russia, could we come with you? Of course, we have special seats reserved just in case we find anyone like us. Who all have you found? Well, Russia was able to get his whole family out in one piece, so we've got Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, Belarus, and Ukraine. We found Greece and Italy with Spain, so we've got him, Antonio, and Feli. He looks down. Romano didn't make it, though. Denmark clears his throat. I know. Anyone else? Alfred grins. You guys! Besides us. He shakes his head. Not yet. We're working on it, though. We're hoping to scoop as many of you out as we can on the next run. That still doesn't explain how you wound up here. Well, it sort of does. He leans back. Things were running smooth enough, so Canada and I thought we could... I don't know. He laughs sheepishly and rubs the back of his neck. We wanted to find England and France, to make sure they were okay and to tell them about the subs.